And welcome to this training. So in this training then, it's all about basically I think there's a lot of financial service pros at the minute that are doing a hell of a lot of work, working really hard, but they're not getting paid enough at the end of the day for the time and the effort that they're putting into it. So basically this training is to show people that rather than, if you want to increase revenue, rather than kind of onboarding new clients, it's kind of the less is more approach and getting the right kind of clients and charging a lot more for your service. And a lot of people struggle with the mindset around that and they think they've got like limiting self-beliefs that they can't charge more when really they can. It's just that the people that they're approaching at the minute, the people that they're talking to are probably not going to pay any more than that. But it's just about kind of changing the conversation and changing the people that are in the conversation, really. And yeah, just approaching this high ticket client and getting paid more. And it means obviously less work, so you need less clients to produce more revenue. And obviously for me, it just ticks a lot of boxes in terms of scaling a financial service business. So basically, as it says down here, so when you're selective over who you work with and you become a specialist at solving one specific customer profile, there's problems, then you can command high fees. So in this session, then, we're going to show you how to get over your limiting beliefs and change your messaging to repel the low ticket and attract high ticket. So yeah, let's get into it then. So just a breakdown of exactly what it is that we're going to cover in more detail. So we're going to go over why you would charge more. The difference in mindset, as I mentioned, that's a major part of what we're going to cover, which is a big barrier to what people are kind of coming against at the minute. How to actually sell high ticket. Specialists get paid more, so we're going to go over what that means and why it's easier to charge more than less, and ways to come over your fears of charging more at the end. So stick with it till the end, and you'll get some decent knowledge from this. Okay, so yeah, this is a bit of a meme. You might have seen it. I've shared it a couple of times, and it gets a lot of interaction. People resonates with a lot of people. So yeah, it just goes to show there that the difference in mindset between the two. There's a low ticket client and the high ticket client. Yeah, the high ticket client obviously is just a hell of a lot easier to deal with. So why charge more then? So this is a question that you might be asking yourself. It's like you've probably charged what you have since you started, maybe. But yeah, so there's a lot of benefits, not just for you. Obviously, your role as an advisor and as a firm, as a financial firm, is to provide a service and provide a good service. So this is what it helps you to do. It provides a better service, in fact, because you've got less clients to begin with. You don't need a load of clients, so you can serve the clients that you have got in a more effective way. When you become a specialist, obviously a lot of people in financial services at the minute are dealing with a hell of a lot of different products for one. Some are doing mortgage advice, they're doing protection, some are doing wills, and some are doing pensions and investments, and it's just to get a bit convoluted. So you can't really become a specialist in one area when you're kind of spreading yourself that thinly. And then you've got multiple different customer profiles that you're dealing with. So they're all from different industries and they're all from different walks of life, and they've all got different pain points and different problems. So it's difficult to know exactly what to expect when you get a new client on board. But when you're on the flip side of that, when you just kind of focus in on one specific customer profile and you're offering just a core piece of your business, like obviously it makes sense to offer the bit of the business that produces the most revenue. And when you do that, you get to know exactly what your client needs. Well, you know already before they come to you, you know what they need and you know where to get it. So it's just you're a specialist, but you become a specialist in that area. And people appreciate that because obviously you're able to give them a better service because, like I say, you know exactly where to go to get what they need, and you know what they need before they even come through. So, yeah, it just makes your life a hell of a lot easier, and yeah, you provide a better service. There's less expenses as well because you've got less customers. So you're having to deal with less admin. You don't need as many staff to deal with all these different kind of complex cases that you're not used to dealing with day in, day out. Obviously, the obvious one is more money because you're charging more for your service, which is a no-brainer. So yeah, customers get better results as well. Like I mentioned before, you know exactly where to go, you know how to get it. So you become a specialist in that area. So you're giving them a better service, and they're getting better results because you know exactly how to serve them. You get more time as well, because when you're dealing with less clients, it's less work for you. Obviously, you're getting paid more, but you're having to do less work for it, which results in the lower two. They're less stress. Excuse me. Again, because you're working less and you've got less going on in your mind, you're just focused on this one customer profile, so it's just less stress for you. And obviously, the bottom one for me is the ultimate. That's the ultimate goal of a human being, right? To be happy. And so, yeah, that all plays into your happiness, because you've got more time to spend with the family, you've got more time to spend growing your business, whatever you need to do, you've got more time. And that's the aim of the game, right? To have more time to do what you want, which is freedom, which makes you happy. So, yeah, it's for me, it's difficult to understand. Obviously, I know people have these limiting beliefs and they have different mindsets, and it does take some getting past that and getting over those limiting beliefs. But there's no real disadvantage to doing this at all. So I'm sure some of you, in fact, probably most of you by now, feel that you're working very hard and too long for the fee that you're being paid. There's not many people really who have kind of cracked that code, but yeah, that's the point of why you're watching this, I guess. So go back to my example then. It's always good to tell a story, and then when you've been through this yourself, which I've been through, obviously it helps me portray it and put it across to you guys. So yeah, back in my it's still the same business, but literally 3 years ago, I was doing what I'm totally at the opposite end of doing now. I was working 12 hours a day, feeling stressed. Obviously, my background is a bit different to yours. Obviously, my background is marketing. I used to run a marketing agency for multiple different industries, offering multiple different services. A lot of it was, I was doing the coaching. I was doing one-to-one coaching, which was the kind of probably it was definitely the biggest kind of earner for me. The biggest chunk of my revenue was from that side of it. But I was designing logos. So I'm a graphic designer as well. So I was doing graphic design. I was building websites. I was running like Facebook ads for people. And yeah, I was doing a load of different services for a load of different kind of customer profiles, a load of different niches, loads of different industries. So each time I took on a new client from a new industry, I had to learn about that industry. And I was dealing with like low ticket stuff. Like I was doing logos for like 50 quid. And yeah, on Facebook, I'd do a lot of stuff, post, and people would tag me in. And yeah, the type of client there, I'd be doing a logo for 50 quid and people would be just on at me all the time, asking me questions and saying, I'd be sending it back to them, and then they'd be making multiple changes on it and just going back and forth. And sometimes it'd take me I'd never actually recorded it, but it'd take me hours and hours and hours to do this 50 quid logo, which if I worked it out, I'd probably be getting paid a couple of quid an hour. And then, yeah, you don't really realize when you're kind of doing it, when you're just in the zone and you're doing it. You need to take a step back to realize where you're at with it and what's the bigger picture. So that's what I had to do in the end. So I took a step back and looked hard at my business model, and basically what I did was just eliminated all the stuff that just wasn't really pushing me forward and getting me to where I needed to be. And then, like I say, with the logo stuff, that was the perfect example. I was dealing with people that were just giving me a headache for the price. Like I say, for a couple of quid an hour, it just wasn't worth that. So yeah, like I said, I just eliminated all the crap, basically, all the shit that was just giving me a headache. I could have obviously had thought about delegating it and like taking on, like outsourcing it, but again, that would just create more of a headache. So I've just decided just to eliminate the lot and just focus in on the coaching side. And so, yeah, the result was that the revenue went up, my free time went up, relationships improved because I got more time to spend with my kids and seeing friends. Health and fitness improved again. Same reason, more time to spend doing what I like doing in terms of looking after myself. I could do a lot of boxing. I do like to go to the gym every day. And all that, again, results in the bottom line, which is happiness improved. So, yeah, this is just a little diagram. You probably might have seen this before. And so this just demonstrates, really, the kind of progress that you get when you spread yourself really thinly and you're dealing with different products, different customer types. So you're not really getting to know your customer any better when you're dealing with like 15 different customer types. Same with the products. You're not really you're just touching on one product and then you go into a next. You're not becoming a specialist in one specific area, which is, it's difficult to really progress when you're doing that, when you're just spreading yourself that thin. So the upshot to that, or the flip side of that, is to just focus in on one specific area. And when you do that, you get a hell of a lot. You get where you want to be a hell of a lot faster. If you like to say, you just focus on one customer profile and just simplify everything down and just offer them, choose a profile, a niche, a specific customer, and then offer them services that they need. So the difference in mindset then. So this is the difference between like the low ticket clients and the high tickets. So one of the hardest things to do then is get our heads, so it's our mindset as well, is get our heads around why people would pay more. And where I can find people that would pay more. And like I said before, most have a limiting belief that people won't pay more. But that is bullshit, because they 100% will. I know for a fact because I've been through it myself. So what it's important to do then is the way you've probably been taught, and if you've done like marketing courses before, or just the natural way to speak online and to put your message out, is to speak to a low ticket client, to a low ticket customer. So yeah, what it's about doing is changing the conversation and changing the people that are in the conversation. So the way we talk is important. Obviously, I say the way we talk is everything, really. The way we put our message out. It's all about, marketing's a massive psychological thing. So it's all about finding out what your specific customer profile, what resonates with them and what doesn't. So to talk to high ticket, then we need to know the reasons that resonates with them. So low ticket, then all they care about is the price. They want a deal. They want a cheap deal. You might get people come through and message you. I know I do. The first thing they'll say is, how much do you charge? And you just know straight away when you get that message, when you get that first sentence from them, you know what their priority is. It's just price. Where with the high ticket, the other side of it, all they care about is the actual outcome and what they're going to get at the end of it, the actual result. And obviously they care about the price, but that's secondary to the outcome. They're more focused on the actual outcome of what you're going to provide them with. So how to sell to high ticket prospects then? So you need to make them watch a core piece of content and make them apply to actually speak with you. So by doing this, you're putting yourself in front of them and you're explaining everything about how you work and what your principles are, how you do things, and people get a vibe for what you're all about, and you can portray your value across to your target audience by doing that through what we call a funnel. So a funnel it's a video-based funnel. So basically, they'll watch a video of you. So you're putting yourself specifically in front of your target audience. And so as part of that video, excuse me, what we'll have to input to get these outputs out. So what it'll ask is, on this video, you'll ask a specific and measurable benefit orientated question. And maybe a puzzling question, which you get bonus points for. So So an example might be, do you know why 1 in 3 self-employed accountants had their mortgage application rejected in 2021? So that kind of draws people into that. It's not you pushing stuff at people. It's not saying, just I'm going on the example of a mortgage broker. So if you're a mortgage broker, it's not saying, we do mortgages, give us a ring. That stuff just doesn't work. It's not, people subconsciously switch off when they think they're being sold to, which that is. And they'll have seen a million of those ads probably the same day. Well, maybe not a million, but you get the point. But when they see that question, they'll think, yeah, it just gets the cogs turning, and it makes them think, yeah, it just creates a bit of intrigue. So it kind of draws people in. But obviously it draws the right people in. This is obviously, if you're going for self-employed accountants, this is what you'd position it around. And then it also, this video would include a day in the prospect's life. So you describe your ideal client's desires, what their problems are, what their fears are, what their pain points are, what the problems are. So when you put that out in that message, well, we'll go into the out parts in a minute, but it just kind of resonates with your ideal client, with the people that you want it to resonate with. You'd also include in this video a brief description of yourself. So you'd say talk about how you got started, how the business got started, just a bit of an intro, just to create that bit of rapport. And then you'd outline what the funnel would teach. So in this video, you're teaching them something. You're giving them some tips. So going back to the mortgage broker example, it could be 5 tips to avoid when applying for a mortgage as a self-employed accountant. Something that's of value. Or if you're doing pensions, it could be things to avoid when reviewing your pension. And then a proof, provide a case study or an example, which gives social proof. So that could be a video of, you can just ask one of your previous clients just to shoot a 30-second video, just saying what their life was before, what they were going through. If they were looking for a mortgage, it would be, I was trailing through Rightmove every morning, and I'd spoke to a few brokers, and I didn't get approved on the first try, so I'd given up hope. And then I saw this ad for a guy who deals with self-employed accountants, so I got in touch. It got me approved straight away, and now I'm in the home of my dreams, and everything went through smoothly because this guy knows exactly how to serve my specific situation. So yeah, if you just get someone, once you've got that, obviously initially you won't have that, but once you do, that goes a long way, because people kind of resonate with seeing people in their same situation getting the results that they're looking for. So the outputs then, so the kind of the things that this will produce by doing this is that prospects will see you as an authority, because obviously you're teaching these tips, you're giving them some value, you're giving them something that's of use to them, which that builds authority, because obviously they know that what you're talking about is something that you know a lot about. And prospects see that you understand their unique situation and trust that you're the one to help them overcome their problems. So again, that helps build trust, because you've kind of done the work to find out what that customer profile, what their problems are and their pain points. And so when they see that you understand them, that kind of just really puts you head and shoulders above anybody else. So it gets the prospect comfortable with paying a premium for the painful problem to be solved to get a premium result. Again, because on this video, you're kind of kicking their bruised knee, really. You're making it evident that there is a problem there, if it's self-employed accountants, and that there is a big problem at the minute in them getting approved for mortgages. So they need a specialist. They need someone that understands their situation. So yeah, when you do that, obviously they feel that is worth paying, because on the flip side, what's the cost of not doing that, of using just a generalist broker, or someone that just doesn't specialize in their specific situation? The result of doing that could be that they lose out on the house of their dreams, and they're back to trolling Rightmove every day, and they're having to spend time traveling to do house visits and viewings. So another thing that it does, which is key to building trust, is the rapport element, because you've explained a bit about yourself. Obviously, when you contact these kind of leads, it just does all the pre-selling, because you can buy leads in. Well, I think the conversion rate at the minute on average is about 10%. And that's because there's no trust there when you buy them in. It's like the next best thing to a cold call. You ring them and they don't know who the hell you are. But by pre-selling them, by putting your prospects in front of this presentation really of you, it builds a trust and it builds a rapport. And it's obviously social proofs generated as well. So, by the time that they've gone through this and watched this video, which is going to be about 15 minutes long, that they've red hot leads, they know who you are, they're expecting your call. They've seen, or you don't have to put your face on it, but they've seen you, they've heard your voice, they know what you're all about. And so, they're kind of, the selling side of it is done. So when you get them on the phone, it's just to check really if it's a good fit for them, if it's going to be worth a while, and if it's going to be worth your while, obviously. But also part of this funnel is basically what I mean by funnel. It's a link-to-linking system of web pages. So the core kind of page to this is obviously the video, but at the end you'll say, obviously, you can use this information how you wish, or if you want to arrange a one-on-one strategy call with myself who deals specifically with your specific situation, press this button below, and then they'll be hit with a form when you'll pre-qualify them. So you're asking them things, you're kind of making them apply for a call with you. Excuse me. So you're asking them things like, again, if you're a broker, if they've got a deposit, how much deposit they've got, if they're ready to move straight away or in 6 months or in a year, or if they're just gathering information. So you you've got all that information that gets sent to you in an email where you can prioritize obviously the hottest leads and just ditch the ones that are not really going to go anywhere. So you're only investing your time into the leads that you think are actually going to go somewhere. So becoming a specialist, then again, this is a key part. It's a key part to what we do in the program, but it's a key part to really differentiating yourself from everybody else. And so the way to do that is becoming a specialist, like I said, in a specific area and a specific service that you offer. So age-old example of that, then, the perfect example really, is the heart surgeon, who always gets paid a hell of a lot more than the GP. Obviously, the GP, they deal with all sorts of ailments. Whatever you've got wrong with you, you'll see a GP first. Whether it's whatever it is, I don't know. If you've got something wrong with you, having headaches, if you've got a really bad cold, whatever it is, you'll go into the GP, and they get paid. Obviously, they get, as far as I know, anyway, I don't know any GPs, but they get paid a decent wage. But if you compare that to the heart surgeon, who is obviously just zoned in on that one specific area, and they've really spent a hell of a lot of time and effort doing that, they can charge a hell of a lot more than what a GP can, and their life is easier because they know exactly how to deal with that patient when they come in. They know pretty much what they're going to say. They know pretty much, like I say, how to treat them. They've just got it all in their mind because they've done it and they've just focused on that one area. But yeah, so obviously, like I said, the key point is they're going to get paid a hell of a lot more, and they see a hell of a lot less patients than what a GP does. So it just makes the life easier. And then another example, I just thought I'd chuck this in because just recently I've approached a specialist accountant that deals specifically with people that run online programs. Obviously, I could just go to a generalist accountant, a local guy who would probably charge me £200 just to do my books. And yeah, I could do that, or I could spend a hell of a lot more on a specialist, which I'm well prepared to do because they're going to save me a shit ton more tax than what just a general accountant will do. So I could pay a general accountant and they'll just do what they're paid to do, which is just kind of do my tax return, and that's about it. But using this guy that I spoke to, obviously, like I say, it's costing me thousands to do it, but it's going to save me a hell of a lot more in tax because they know exactly how to do things when it comes to online course providers. Because the double-edged sword of doing online courses is a lot of profit, which means obviously there's a lot of tax. So, but normally I wouldn't know how to put things into ISAs, or I don't have a clue how to do that tax side of things. And like I say, my general accountant probably wouldn't know either. Obviously, they know the general stuff, but the stuff that's more specific to online creators is where it's at for me. So I'm quite happy to pay a premium for that, because it's going to save me a lot more than what I'm going to pay for it. So the obvious thing then, so we all want to earn more. As a business owner, generally, obviously not 100% of the cases, but most of the time, we want to earn more. We want to build a business. We want to grow. So the obvious thing to grow is to onboard more clients, which is where most people, I think, get it wrong. I think when you onboard more clients, you get more problems. You've got more stuff to deal with. You're going to have to take on more staff to deal with those extra clients. And it probably ends up in the end that initially you might get more revenue, but then with the staff you have to take on to deal with them and the time that you have to put into them, you're probably no better off by doing that method. So some of you might have seen this. I shared this on my socials not long ago. So 100K a year then. So you can do that in a number of ways. Obviously, you could onboard a client every day, 365 days at 300 quid. That'd earn you 100K, an extra 100K. Or you could onboard a £1,000 client twice a week. Or you could onboard one £2,000 client per week, or you could onboard a 5,000 client, a £5,000 client 20 times a year, which is what, one every 2 weeks, a little bit less, a little bit more. Sorry. So yeah, it's just working. You'd have to be working hard to do that once per day, to add a client once per day, 300 quid. But on the flip side, client every couple of weeks, it's not so hard. And you're doing less work for these clients as well. So let me ask you this question: is how much could you earn from a fee? So if you charge £1,000, again, this is a mortgage advisor, I've just followed the mortgage advisor example for this. So if you're a mortgage advisor or a mortgage firm and you charge £1,000 fee, what would your prop fees look like on a mill property? So was it like 0.3%, something like that, on top of the grand? And then life insurance, if you've got a life insurance case, critical illness case, and then if there were a business owner, if you've got business protection as well, how much would that be worth? It's got to be close to that 5K. So a couple of those a month, and you're sorted. That's an extra 100K on your bottom line. So yeah, so it's just thinking about things out of the box, really. So it's easier as well to sell to high ticket than low ticket. So why is it easy to sell high ticket? So when you're the cheapest, people have a hard time psychologically believing that you're going to be the best to solve their problem. People that are willing to spend the most money are often the easiest to sell, because a lot of these people are like high net worth. They've got businesses themselves. They value their time, because their time can be spent doing what they do, earning a lot more than it would be questioning you and ringing you up and texting you all hours. They just want their problem solving. That's the only thing that cares to them, because, like I say, you're taking them away when they're dealing with somebody that's not proficient in their situation. It's going to take them away to check up on them and to make sure things are going okay, because they've not got that peace of mind that they're dealing with a specialist. And that's going to cost them money, because time is money, obviously. Then on the flip side, then the people who are looking for a deal are the hardest to sell, because, like I say, they're all just wanting to be on. They'll be asking you questions all the time when you are onboarding them, and when you're doing your strategy calls, they'll be asking you 1,000,001 questions, saying, "Oh, are you the right guy?" They probably just like questioning you. I know, because I've done it myself. When I sold low ticket services, my clients, I had so many concerns and so many questions, and back then though, I felt like obliged to answer them and to really kind of reassure them. But and I had to work really hard to kind of get that sale. But it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to work hard. When somebody sees the value in you, and they trust you, which is the point of the funnel thing that we mentioned, then they're not going to ask you all these questions. They're not going to give you this hard time about, and you're not going to have to do a hard sell or really kind of feel that you need to convince people that you're the right one for them. It'll all be done for you. So, yeah, next slide then. So if you're struggling with justifying, this is a big issue for most people, including myself. So consider the cost then that your client will be missing out on if they miss out on their dream home by using a less qualified generalist broker. So it's about thinking about what it'll make them rather than what it'll make them. It's about what it'll make them, what they'll lose or what you can save them losing. So think of all, obviously, the stress, the time. Again, if they're high ticket, the time is very valuable. So they don't want to be going back to Rightmove every day, trawling through that, going to house viewings. You're saving them that by dealing, because once you've gone into a niche and you've got familiar with them, like I said, you're more efficient, you're a specialist, and you know exactly how to solve their problems and stop them from, save them from going through this process again. So I was once questioned then when I was doing coaching. This is what made me think. So a guy asked me, he said he was quite serious about it. He said, why are you so cheap? It was really kind of, what's the word? Just a bit suspicious, because he didn't think that he was paying enough for what he wanted for his problems to be solved. And so, yeah, not long after that, I myself invested in a $5,800 coaching program, which kind of gave me permission in my own mind to charge more, because it just flipped your mind script. It's like a mind shift, where you can, when you invest that money in yourself, when you invest high ticket into yourself, it just gives you permission to charge more in your own head. And yeah, so on that note, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then nobody else will invest in you. You've got to invest in yourself to give you the confidence to command high charges, high fees. So that's a key element to flipping your mind script. If you, like I say, if you're really got a kind of that kind of mindset that's trying to save every money, you won't invest in yourself, you just want to hold everything back, then nobody's going to invest in you. It's just how the kind of universe works, I think. So final slide then. So there's a question to you guys. Do you think you could raise your fees and go after a high net worth client in 2022? Just let me know down below in the comments, and give me some feedback if you think this has been worth your while. And why, the only reason I see why people wouldn't charge a premium price is if you want bad clients, if you want a hard time selling people, and you didn't want to get people premium results. At the end of the day, again, as consultants, we want to give the best service to our clients. And this is the best way to give the best service to your clients. At the end of the day, we're here to help people. And this helps people, and it helps you in the process. So I really struggle now to see a reason why anybody wouldn't want to charge higher and provide a better service to clients. But let me know in the comments if anybody wants to as well take one of these funnels. I offer a program where we provide you with the funnel, we provide you with coaching on how to put it together, and we provide you with a training on Facebook ads of how to push that targeted traffic to that funnel. So I've got a link to it below where I can give you an example of my funnel, and you can watch a bit more about and learn a bit more about the funnel within this link. So just click the link below, and let me know if you've got anything decent from this training. Any feedback would be really appreciated. But yeah, thank you very much for your time. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, we'll be pumping more information out all the time on stuff to help financial service businesses to grow into the digital age. But yeah, thank you very much for your time.